60s child. It's the last day of the school term and you can't wait for it to end. So with your chair put on top of your table, there's only one thing to do: get out the school gates. For kids, this was the start of the official British summertime, and we didn't care if it rained a bit. So what did we do in the summertime parade? If you were lucky, you got to go Butlins holiday camp for a couple of weeks, or maybe Pontins. The lad down the road, him and his two sisters, went every year to either Butlins or Pontins. They always come back wearing badges, showing off. I never did get to go Butlins or Pontins, but I wasn't bothered because one year we went Towyn, North Wales. The caravans were pretty primitive, but when I was a kid I didn't really mind that. I didn't even notice it. Not only did it have a smashing beach, it had the Black Cat amusement arcade. Oh, the fun I had losing all my pennies in there. We didn't get to go on holiday every year. The booming 60s wasn't that booming for my dad. Holidays were luxuries, and luxuries were very few in them days. But every year we were guaranteed to get a day's outing in Blackpool or Southport. Most years we'd go on one of these, the Shara, and it seemed to take ages because we seemed to stop at every pub on the way. But sometimes we'd be lucky and go by train. As a child, Blackpool was magical. And then days it was a very busy place. It had a beach, a tower, and trams. And you even got to read them cheeky postcards when your mum wasn't looking. We went in the waxworks with my mum and dad. We saw the Queen, the Beatles, Ken Dodd, and Dina Sharples from Coronation Street. We went in Chamber of Horrors. It had loads of nasty things in there. It had murderers and all kinds of horrible people. This one gave me nightmares for years. I didn't come back with no badge, but my mum bought me one of these. So if you weren't on holiday, you watched telly for a bit, your favourite programmes, and then you go on streets and make up games. There's a lad in our street and he used to entertain the crowds by picking his scab until it bled. Some kids found it gross, but I personally found it boring. I wonder if he still uses that as his party piece. Sometimes we'd go on a bike ride. The lucky ones had a racing bike or a chopper bike. But if you didn't own a bike, you could always borrow your dad's or your mate's big sister's bike. It didn't matter as long as it was a bike. And there was always one show-off in the group. Sometimes we'd try our hand at stunts. Mind you, someone always come a cropper. Some just couldn't ride bikes. And some didn't even cross the starting line. If you were lucky enough to live near some countryside, which I was, you could even go skinny dipping. A small pond was nothing to be feared them days. It gave you hours of fun. And I know people say today ponds are dangerous, and they are, but we were educated from an early age on how to respect the waters. So, armed with little more than a net and a jam jar, off you went to the local pool. And this is what we were after: tadpoles. And if you were lucky, you even got to see a newt. Now, we weren't allowed to bring home newts and frogs, but my mum would allow us to have this in shed: frog spawn. It was an education in itself just watching them hatch. And if you were lucky enough and they turned into frogs, you could release them back into the pond. The fun you could have climbing trees. I wonder if kids are allowed to do that these days. And what was more fun than a rope swing? And did we really believe that you could tell the time by blowing on a dandelion? But there was fun to be had with them. Hours could be spent just rolling down embankments and hills. Even the dog joined in. There was always someone who took it that bit further. The buttercup, you'd pick it and you'd hold it under someone's chin to see if they like butter. It seems everybody liked butter. Remember this? A leg and a wing to see the king. Wasn't too bad on grass, but if they let go on the street like that, you were in trouble. Now when the sun was out, if you had one of these, you could have hours of fun. Burning your name on paper, the power you wielded was incredible. It made you feel like Ming the Merciless. You'd set fire to anything you could get hold of. And there was always that temptation to have a go at burning your own skin. It wasn't uncommon to have a competition between the lads to see who could stand it the longest. Another day out was to go to the swimming baths. You needed a couple of pennies, but you got all morning or afternoon, whichever one you decided to go to, and came out like a wrinkled prune. And no fancy bag required, just roll your bathers up in your towel, put it under your arm and away you went. Going to the baths was pretty popular when I was a kid, so you could be queuing for ages. So your rolled up towel could become a seat. The swimming baths that we used were old Victorian type baths. This is the entrance hall, and this is one of the last photos taken of the pool before it got demolished. If you notice, the changing rooms don't have any locks on them. That's why we used to hide our money in our sock. We're sure nobody would find it because nobody else knew you hid it in your sock. And never put it in your right sock. They always checked the right sock but never the left. And who could forget the Saturday matinee? The Lone Ranger, Lassie, Tintin. Whatever it was, we just sat and watched it all. Hundreds of kids in one room. And the entertainment didn't stop there. Some guy came out the stage with a big Wurlitzer and started playing Happy Birthday to everyone who told him it was a birthday. There were even badges to collect. For my final activity, here it is, camping out. You're miving and miving till your mum let you camp out in the backyard with your mates. You convinced your mum you wouldn't be scared because you'd been in the Cubs and learnt about camping. You even got a badge. So there you were with your tent set up, and it got dark, really dark, and then you heard it, and you thought, it's okay, it's next door's dog, and someone said, what if it's the Wolfman? And with a gulp, you all looked at each other, and we were off as quick as your legs could carry you, straight back into the house, and that was the end of camping. Well, that brings me to the end of my little video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and I'll see you later.